The fuck is up?
Oh, hi.
Sorry, I've had 3 cups of coffee today and I'm on one.
Wait, where was the intro? We didn't wait like our 8 seconds. I didn't get to dance.
Well, the intro's already happened on my end.
Oh.
I hit record like a minute ago, bitch.
Well, okay. I just hit record, so it's fine. It's all good.
I'm fixing it in post. No one will know what's happening except they're listening right now.
Hi, everyone. This is Hot for Justice, and I'm Jessica.
And this is Jaymie.
We're your hosts for today.
I mean, we're always
and every day.
Except for that time that, you were on maternity leave and I had my rotation of co-hosts.
Yes, that's so true. That was fun for you.
That was. And speaking of, I think we should have the boys on sometime soon. Yeah,
and I have a guest star lined up actually too. It's a secret though. Can't tell. I'll tell you later, but I'm not going to tell y'all. No. I'm just kidding. He will come on if we cover my
Making a murder.
Yes, because he feels some type of way about Steve Avery being locked up.
Excellent. We can talk about that off air. I was gonna make a promise but we agreed that we're not making promises on air anymore.
We're not because
we're not good at those.
So, but we do want to tease some new content we have coming your way. So, as of we mentioned last week, February, we are going to have something new. And so what we've decided to do is each episode we're going to feature victims of a serial killer at the top of the episode, and something that Jaymie and I are going to do together.
Like a tag team effort.
Yes. And so each episode will be a continuation featuring those victims, and really not the serial killers because F them.
Fuck them.
But yes. And so we're going to do that, and we're saving kind of like our dicking off portion towards the end because we know some people don't really enjoy listening to how funny we are about our personal lives. And you know what? If that's you and you just want to listen to our cases, that's fine. Well, we're going to save the dicking off for the end, and you can just not listen to it.
There might be like a couple minutes of, like important matters to talk about at the very top, but like...
Right, like if we decide to do merch... Right, when our new website launches, we're going to announce those things and then get straight into it. And speaking of straight into it, it's my turn this week.
It is your turn this week, so let's fucking hear about it.
Okay, so I'm covering the case of missing Melody McKoy. This is so sad. So Melody was last seen in the 300 block of Fremont Avenue in Baltimore, Maryland. She had been visiting a friend. She was supposed to be staying the night. So they were in their apartment, and she was there December 1st, 1991. That was like, people saw her there. She was there. She was supposed to stay the night, but it's really unsure of like what happened and when she left. So the news articles, or like the articles in general, like she's on the Charlie Project and stuff like that, there's really no information about that family or that friend. And these apartments are now torn down, so there's like really nothing to like refer back to. And the friend lived in a notably rough neighborhood of West Baltimore. And you know that generally when people say rough neighborhoods, they mean low income areas.
Right.
And generally, who lives there? People of color. So we need to, like, part of like some of the books I've been reading are like how to change your mindset about like some of these ways we speak about it. So I just want to point that out. Melody was only 12 years old in 1991. She was a 6th grader at Harlem Park Elementary School. So she didn't show up for school, and she was known to be a really good student, and she had really good attendance. So when she didn't show up, her family was... Well, I think her family was notified, and they were kind of obviously really concerned because she wouldn't just go somewhere and like not go to school.
This is really random, but you saying that just made me like think a thought. Mm-hmm. Perfect attendance was like such a big fucking deal.
I know.
In school, like God forbid you get sick.
I know.
Like, or like anything else. Like, how does perfect attendance make you like better than any other student or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, because there was always like awards for perfect attendance or like treats or like whatever. Like usually if you had perfect or like damn near perfect attendance, like you got rewarded for it. Like,
I know.
Why?
It's a weird thing too because not everybody is on the same level. Like some people have serious health issues, or some people were sick. Like or some people needed mental, well, which is now more common, some people need a mental health time. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of different reasons that anyone would, you know, a
miss
child would not be in school
right.
for, you know, a couple days or even a week or a couple weeks or whatever.
I think it's just
anyways,
really, it's really interesting.
I digress. But
so,
that kind of
that is because, you know, in this time, during this time, the 90s, when kids went missing, especially black kids, they would just say, oh, well, they ran away. So this was something that the fact she had good grades and good attendance, she was a good student, went to the credibility that something happened to her, as opposed that she just left. Which is absurd to think that a 12-year-old would just get up and leave. How is she going to care for herself? What is she going to do? So that's it. December 1st, at a friend's house. That's the last time she's seen. They're not sure when she left. She did leave her coat in this apartment, and she left her bike in the apartment because it had a flat tire. So obviously she's not going to take it anywhere. She left wearing the coat of a little boy who lived there. So I'm assuming it's the friend's brother or some family member or something. So she left wearing that coat. And I have a description in a little bit. So December 2nd, she didn't show up for school. Her family was notified. When questioned, her mom said that she thought Melody was staying with her aunt, which was something she did frequently. The family that Melody was with was questioned. And the mom said, well, she wasn't there when I woke up on the 2nd, so I don't really know. I just find that weird, but I'll put my comments at the end.
Yep.
Police believe that she was the victim of a stranger abduction, which I kind of lean to agree with. My dogs are trying to play. There was no reported eyewitnesses of her leaving, no sightings of her after, and no clues as to where she is or what happened to her. So now Melody would be 41. She's a black female with brown hair and brown eyes. Her hair at the time she went missing was shoulder length. She has a mole on her right cheek. She was 5 foot, 100 pounds when she went missing, and she was last seen wearing a boy's waist-length sky blue coat, had puffy sleeves. She had a blue sweatshirt on, blue jeans, yellow socks, and either red Reebok or white sneakers. So kind of like my thoughts. This is the 90s.
Wait, how do you confuse red shoes and white shoes?
Well, I don't know if they're sure what she had on. Like, she could have had either.
Right, but like if the other shoes would presumably be at home, wouldn't they be able to narrow it down?
I don't know. She could have.
I don't know.
She could have taken like her friend's shoes.
Also true. Or I mean, like she could have also thrown a pair of shoes in the backpack. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
it's a good point. So I was kind of like, oh, okay, well those are very different, especially red shoes are like pretty easy to like notice they're missing or not. So I'm assuming both pairs of these were gone, which is, but
like right. Why do you need two pairs of shoes, especially if you're not going to school?
Right. I don't know. Maybe she wanted options. Like when I go somewhere, I pack like 4 pairs of shoes now. But
she was running away from home, but needed a second pair of shoes. I mean, I get it.
Listen,
red shoes don't go with everything.
And that actually is a good point because that leads into one of the theories. So, 1991. This is a different time than it is now. Parents were much more relaxed about what their kids were doing, where they were. There was no cell phone, so it's not like you're regularly checking in with a parent. You're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, and you use a house phone to check in. At least that's how it was for me. Granted, I was not even born until 1992, so by the time I was old enough to be doing things, it was already in the 2000s or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Going places. I just think it's weird that she was actually at a friend's house, but her mom really didn't know where she was, and her mom thought she was staying at an aunt's house. I think that's odd.
You know, I feel like this happened in 91. I feel like this was still like kind of the days where you could get away with saying like, oh, like I'm going to Jenny's house, and then Jenny could say, oh no, I'm going to Sarah's house.
Yeah.
And then they like the two kids go somewhere else.
But her friend didn't go anywhere.
That's weird.
So I also found it weird that the mom that she was staying with was kind of like, well, yeah, I don't know, she wasn't there when I left. Like, if that were me, I'd be like, where's your friend? And I also find it weird, like, the friend didn't know either. Like, if you are at somebody's house and you leave, as a friend, I'd be like, okay, well, why are you leaving if you're supposed to be staying the night? So that makes me wonder if perhaps Melody was groomed by somebody who was older and she went with them and something happened to her. And the friend knew, which I don't really know. That's complete supposition on my part. Maybe the friend really had no idea, but
my first instinct would be to say that the friend was like maybe covering for her if she was like groomed by somebody or something, because I don't want to like implicate myself or anybody else. But like when I was like a teenager, like, you know, kind of that same deal, like we would go to like a friend's house and then like sometimes like we'd go hang out with someone else that maybe their mom didn't like so much. So like we would say like, oh, like we're just gonna go out to, you know, wherever with somebody else. So we would say like we were going one place. And one time like she was like, oh, like I'm gonna, like we should sneak out and like go hang out with so and so. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. So I actually did get left at the house because they were like, well, we're going. I was like, bye. Like,
right, like I'm not going.
Yeah, because I knew they were gonna get into some sketchy shit, and I wasn't about that life.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So I mean, I don't know, but so like it's one of those things where it's like if her mom had been like, oh, like where'd she go? I wouldn't have had an answer.
Right.
Like, I wasn't.
You don't want to
rat
her
say,
out.
oh, she went with so and so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like even now, though, like as you grow up and you're an adult and you know you're not going to get in trouble anymore, and your friend has legitimately like not been seen since 1991, wouldn't you come and say, hey, like this is actually what happened? Now that I'm not a child, I understand, you know, the repercussions of this and whatever. I don't know. Maybe
That's exactly
not.
What I was gonna say.
So it's just really strange. She could have left. Like maybe she just got up and ditched. Like I mean there's been times where I've got up and I was staying the night at a friend and completely like I got up and while they were still sleeping and either like left or moved somewhere, so like they didn't know where I was. Like I moved into a different room or, you know, like whatever.
Right.
So maybe she did just get up and leave, and maybe she was supposed to meet somebody and didn't say anything, or maybe she was going to go home and she got picked up. I mean, if it's a rough neighborhood and she left in the middle of the night, like you're very vulnerable as the 12-year-old girl. So it really could have absolutely nothing to do with the family that she was staying with, which it probably doesn't. Otherwise, I'm sure the police would have like been, you know, more on top of that.
Sure, they were vetted.
But it's very sad. She was obviously like she's only 12. It's so devastating. There's age progression of her and what she would look like, you know, estimated now in her 40s. So when we get our website up, we will post that on our website. So we have some other changes probably coming to our Instagram. We're still trying to like figure all of that out, but we do want you to know that we're keeping track of all of these, and we'll try to get as many pictures and information up on our website as soon as we can. Of course, that's a work in progress. So and the links for this episode will be in the podcast description.
Yeah, so make sure you check that out for any links or anything that you're looking for.
Yep. So all you.
Right. So this case I thought was like super interesting. I was browsing the Unsolved Mysteries.
Girl, me too. Because they have much better representation all over of like different kinds of cases. Then it's just easier to search.
Yeah, and while this case is a white woman, the circumstances of this I thought were very interesting. And
well, you know, those cases still do need
absolutely
to be addressed.
Especially like this was a little bit older white woman. Like she was, I believe, in her 30s or 40s when she was murdered. So I'm gonna get into a second, but again, she's not young, hot, and blonde. So I don't think this has gotten a ton of
attention,
traction.
Yeah. All right. Well, hit it.
This is the case of Judith Lois Bradford Smith, who went by Judy. She was a home care nurse in Massachusetts, just outside of Boston. By the time she had met her second husband, Jeffrey, she had been taking care of his father, and he was very impressed by her, and they soon began dating in 1986. He was also a divorcee, and between the two of them, they had 3 grown children, 2 of which were hers and 1 of his. They were together for about a decade when they got married in September of 1996. Jeff was a lawyer and often had to travel for work, including a trip to Philadelphia the April after they had wed. Judy was excited for the trip as she had never been to Philadelphia before and was looking forward to sightseeing and visiting historical monuments, notably the Liberty Bell. The trip did start off with a snag, however, when Judy realized that she had forgotten her ID upon her and Jeff's arrival at Boston's Logan International Airport on April 9th of 1997. The two agreed that Jeff would take their scheduled flight and that Judy would go home to procure her ID and then catch a later flight that evening and meet up with him at the hotel. She took a 7:30 p.m. flight and bought a bouquet of flowers and met Jeff at the Doubletree Hotel in Philadelphia to apologize for the debacle. The following morning, the couple awoke, and while Jeff was preparing for his work conference, Judy was planning her day of being a tourist, and the couple planned to meet in their hotel room after the day's events so that they could go to a cocktail party at 6 p.m. together. When Jeff went back to the hotel room that evening, he did not find Judy, and had assumed that there had been a miscommunication in their plan, and he went down to the party to see if she had gone down to meet him there. After about 45 minutes of looking for her, Judy was nowhere to be found. At this point, he reached out to the hotel concierge, and they started calling the area's local hospitals, also to no avail. He remembered that Judy was planning on taking the city's Flash tour bus, and he even paid a cab driver to follow the tour bus's normal routes to see if there was any sign of his wife. This attempt also proved to be fruitless, and the following morning he reported her missing to the police. He had contacted them that evening, but they instructed him that their policy was to wait 24 hours, so they refused to take the report that evening and were even kind of apprehensive to do it in the morning. Interestingly enough, Jeff had conversations with both the mayor of Philadelphia and a congressman as they had been at the convention party that evening. He expressed how he believed the PD was being dismissive towards him and trying to find his wife. When he arrived to place the report the following morning, two detectives were ready to take down the information, and Jeff believes that one of the men that he had talked to the night before may have had some pull in helping the investigation get off the ground, as the police commissioner was supposed to receive the report like ASAP after they collected the information. Within days, sightings of who was thought to be Judy were being reported. An employee at the Doubletree came forward saying that he spoke to her the morning of her disappearance, telling her where the tour bus stop nearest the hotel was. Later that same day, she was reported as being seen going in and out of a Greyhound bus station, possibly to use the restroom. However, that's unconfirmed, because she was in and out pretty quickly. So they assumed that she didn't really go anywhere, whatever.
Yeah.
She was also described as looking disoriented outside of the hotel around 3 p.m. by another witness. The following day, an employee as well as several customers reported seeing a disoriented or possibly unstable woman matching Judy's description shopping at a Macy's, and she had been, quote, shopping for her daughter. And both Jeff and the family's private investigator are fairly certain that this sighting may have been legitimate, as the description of Judy was nearly perfect, right down to her red backpack. And the conversations that the customers said that they had with her included details about Judy's life and relationship with her daughter that were very accurate. One exceptionally weird thing about this Macy's sighting, however, is that she is consistently described as trying to get a young woman to leave the store with her. One witness specifically stated that she had assumed the other woman was Judy's daughter that she said that she was shopping for. There were also some reports of her having been seen in Penn's Landing in Philadelphia, one being a report of a well-dressed white woman, and others that may or may not have been a homeless woman that frequented that area and bore a resemblance to Judy. So, a lot of the sightings that are, reported may or may not be her.
Yeah.
The Macy's sighting is, the most viable, but it's hard to say.
Right.
So throughout this time, TV stations and newspapers have been covering her missing persons report in Philadelphia, and Jeff was also actively posting flyers and posters, as well as pursuing getting a PI with Judy's family in efforts to find her. To his frustration, the actual police investigation seemed to move at a snail's pace. He found that they only seemed to focus on either him being the prime suspect, the husband always does it,
right,
or that she decided to pursue a type of midlife crisis and skip town. Those were the only two options they had on the table.
That's plausible.
Right. Jeff eventually goes on to hire 2 more private investigators, so 3 total, as well as send Judy's missing persons report to hospitals all over the country in efforts to increase his odds of finding where his wife is, which by this point has been missing for months. While his efforts did succeed in finding Judy, it was too late. On September 7th of 1997, a father and son were out deer hunting in Pisgah, National Forest in North Carolina. I don't know if I said that correctly. Anyways.
Probably not.
Pisgah? Pisgah?
Maybe.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know what. Yeah.
I'm not a Carolinian. I couldn't tell you.
If you're from there, at us.
Mackenzie's from there, and I probably should have asked her prior to recording this.
Mackenzie, let us know.
Yeah. Hey, girl.
Hey, Mackenzie.
So father and son discover what they thought were human remains near a picnic area not far from Asheville, North Carolina. That's where the National Forest is.
Okay.
The remains were partially wrapped in a blanket and partially clothed, including undergarments, jeans, and hiking boots. The remains had also appeared to have been spread by animals in the surrounding area, which additional artifacts, including cash, more clothing, and a pair of sunglasses, were also found. The medical examiner who determined that the remains to have originated from a white female, 40 to 55 years of age, who had dental work done as well as had an arthritic left knee. Due to the nature of her injuries, it was determined that the cause of death was a homicide by stabbing. Not long after this discovery and autopsy of the body, it was determined between an article and a flyer that Jeff had sent out that the remains belonged to Judy, and her dental records were a match to the Jane Doe that they had found.
Dang. So she was stabbed to death.
Yeah. So
she had hiking boots on?
Yes.
Is that something she would have normally worn?
No. And to their knowledge, and I'll get to this in a bit, like the clothing they found on her and the clothing they found near her, nobody recognizes.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, so they determined it was a death by stabbing because the undergarment she was wearing included a bra that had like puncture wounds in it. Because the body was very decomposed, so it was kind of hard to tell exactly what the cause of death was, but they're presuming a stabbing because of the bra. And just also whatever injuries they could still determine. Jeff nor anyone else in the family could figure out why she would have left on her own, and even if she had, why Asheville, North Carolina? She had never expressed any interest in going to the area, and the closest thing that they could even think of was that Jeff had gone to a weight loss clinic in the Raleigh-Durham area, and Judy had come and visited him for a week during his stay. Her family also vaguely remembers her going to North Carolina for a patient of hers at one point, but they're not 100% sure whereabouts in the state that she had gone, or if it was even actually North Carolina. They said that
was she a doctor?
She was a traveling nurse.
Okay. Sorry if you said that already.
Like a home care nurse.
I missed that.
You're fine. She had, however, been sighted in the Asheville area several days after she had gone missing. A retail clerk specifically remembered speaking with her and noted that she had told her that she was married to an attorney in Boston and that she was coherent and spoke clearly, which was in direct contrast to the folks that had claimed to see her disoriented in Philly just a few days earlier. A campground owner said that a woman matching Judy's description was driving a gray sedan and asked if she could sleep in her car overnight there. The campground owner told her that she couldn't, and then a deli owner nearby claims that a similar woman came in and had bought about $30 worth of sandwiches in a toy truck. Another strange part about the discovery of her remains are that the clothes that had been found are the clothes that had been found on them. Nobody in the family could identify the clothing or hiking boots that had been found, nor the backpack or sunglasses that were near the remains. So what was found was the pair of jeans, underwear, and hiking boots on the body, and then there was a shirt nearby that had like $80 some odd in the pocket, and then like a blue vinyl backpack, which was definitely not hers. Like the backpack she carried, and like that was like kind of her purse, was a like bright red backpack. And then there was also that pair of sunglasses. Like none of those looked like they were hers. Like no one could identify them.
Okay.
The amount of money that was recovered near her remains, so between the backpack and the shirt, was $167, which is consistent with the $200 in cash that Jeff was aware that Judy had on her person at the time of her disappearance. Also to note there, they had like $500 in cash like in the hotel room safe that was untouched. Like none of her other shit was missing. It was just like her person and like her backpack. So like if she was gonna skip town, like she would have taken the $500, you would think.
You would think, but maybe not. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she wanted to be confusing.
Maybe.
And she had 200. I mean, ultimately, $700 isn't going to get you much. I mean, maybe in 1996 that's different, but
yeah.
Interesting.
Also to note, the last clothing that she was seen alive in has never been recovered.
That's really strange to me.
Yeah.
Did the clothing fit her that she had on? Did they say?
It didn't specify, but I would assume. Like, it doesn't say that. I mean, I didn't see anything to, say otherwise.
Interesting.
Also to note is that the clothing that she was the hiking boots, as well as the location of the remains, have caused some detectives to believe that she had been the victim of foul play while hiking, possibly with someone that she had left with voluntarily if she had been running away to start a new life. This theory is that she left Jeff in a sort of midlife crisis, however, makes no sense to him, as well as many of their family and friends who insist they had a great and healthy relationship. One of Judy's friends, though, Carolyn Dickey, has come forward and said that Judy expressed to her that she had wanted a break from the relationship. So, it's kind of hard to say, but it's only that one witness that says that. No, they didn't have children together. She had...
oh, right, you said grown kids.
Yeah. Jeff has officially been cleared as a suspect, and he died in 2005 of complications of being morbidly obese.
Oh.
And police are fairly certain that it couldn't have been him because of where her body was found. It would have been very difficult for a very overweight man to carry her to that place, and really hard for anybody, even if they were not, significantly overweight. So that's why they think that whoever she was killed by went hiking with her.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense if, like, she's a traveling nurse, right? I'm sure she meets a lot of different people, and maybe she met somebody that she was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, it's very well possible. I mean, she met her husband while doing her line of work, so I mean...
Huh, that is truly strange.
Yeah, I thought that one was fucking bonks, so I wanted to share that one.
Huh.
Yeah, so, like I said, at this point, it's been 24 years.
So maybe she was just, like, hiking with this person, and then they were like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's really hard to say, or, because, like, you don't accidentally get stab wounds.
No, or maybe she found somebody, I mean, that actually happens more than you think, like, being attacked while hiking, or, like, you're doing a long-haul trail or something, especially as a woman. I mean, maybe she was just like, I need some zen, and she just ditched.
Very well could have just gone out on her own.
You still would think that she would be like, listen, I need a minute, and then go. I don't know. That's weird. That's so weird. Weird. Okay, weird.
Yeah, weird. But on that note, let's dick off for a bit.
Okay, I love dicking off.
I know, isn't the fucking best?
Oh my gosh, I have a show you need to watch.
What is it?
I actually used your Hulu to watch it because you have the HBO. See, yes, sharing is caring, sweetie.
Sharing is caring.
So it's called The Undoing, and of course it has Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman, which, like, just a combo. Just a combo. Like, it is so good. The ending is a little bit, like, it's surprising, but not in the way you'd think. But Nicole Kidman is just a class act, and so is Hugh Grant. He's a silver fox, like, yum. And it's just really good. So you should watch it. It's like 6 episodes, I think.
Oh, cool.
Limited series.
I'll have to give that a go.
Hit it.
So what else have I been watching? Okay, this is not like my actual thing that like I'm going to share, but I've been watching a disgusting amount of the Great British Baking Show lately.
Yeah, good.
Longtime fave. It's one of my favorite things to fall asleep to. Also, it's on Netflix if anyone's unaware. It's some of the most like zen shit. So like think, like those like cooking shows with like like Gordon Ramsay or whatever, they like tear into everybody.
Yeah.
So they do the same thing. Like they'll criticize these people's like bad bakes.
Aww.
But like it's British, so like everything just like comes off nicer. And like
Really?
they're so nice when they're giving these criticisms. They're like, yeah, like it could have been better.
Right.
Like, not like this tastes like asshole, like Gordon Ramsay would say.
You're an idiot sandwich, as Gordon.
God. But my actual answer is, and I think I might have actually already talked about this, but I'm mentioning it again because I'm rewatching it with Zach, The Queen's Gambit on Netflix.
Okay, I just started this. I started it, and I've, like, made it, like, halfway through, more than halfway, and I'm just kind of slowing down. So I'm kind of just slowing down on it. I was super into it.
Like, I definitely recommend finishing it. It's very, very good.
Okay.
It's very well done. I definitely agree the first few episodes are, like, a lot better.
Yeah.
But it, like, it does, like, have, like, a little dip, and then it gets better again.
So, like, I think I just finished episode where she's playing the Russian, and I'm not going to say much more because I don't want to ruin anything. But, like, just after that, and she's on her way back to the U.S., so that's where I left off.
Copy that. I don't want to tell you anything else.
Yeah, okay.
That's enough.
So just keep it on. Keep going.
Yeah, keep on keeping on. I would say it's probably, like, between that and, honestly, The Wilds, like, my favorite show I've watched this year.
Okay. I'll give it a try.
The Wilds is what I talked about last week.
Yes.
It was that Amazon Prime series.
So now I'm writing, like, our recommendations for the week or whatever we talk about. I'm going to put in our show notes as well, so in case you're interested in watching, I've got them written down.
Actually, one other thing that I've binged over the last few weeks since I've been, out of commission, Letterkenny on Hulu.
Ugh, I hate that show. I'm sorry.
It's my favorite show ever. Like, to me, it's better than The Office. It's better than Friends. It's better than fucking all of those, like, cult comedy sitcom shows. Like, I think this is way better.
Don't at me, but I don't like The Office either.
The Office is meh.
I like Friends, though. But, yeah, I tried Letterkenny, and it just made me want to hit my head against the desk. But I have a different sense of humor, and that's
also true.
Me.
But I'm also going to say that, like, the first few episodes are, like, the worst few episodes.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know.
You
I'm
have
just
to get past, like, episode, like, 3 or 4.
For me, like, I'm not really into shows like that. Just in general. Like, the only shows I really watch that are just kind of like shows, like, not dramas. I was just thinking about this yesterday, actually, too. I like the Gilmore Girls, Friends, and The Good Place.
The Good Place is so good.
And that's just because I love Kristen Bell.
I mean, who doesn't love Kristen Bell?
Yeah, she's my favorite. She's fucking great.
Like, I don't know anyone that doesn't love her.
Yeah. Well, if you don't love her, I don't love you. So, just kidding.
I'll at you if you don't like Kristen Bell.
I will too. So, I'm writing all these down. So, perfect. But yeah, that's just me. That's just my jam. You know what? Okay. I do also like the show Younger with Hilary Duff in it. Watch it on Hulu.
I'm writing that down too.
Okay, it's really cute.
Younger. What's that about?
Okay, so Sutton Foster, she was on a couple other shows, like on the CW network, but she is like a 40-something-year-old who stopped working because she was a wife and a mother, and then she's getting divorced, and so she's trying to find a job in publishing because that's what she had gone to school for, but because she was in her 40s, she was like not getting any job offers, so she lied and said she was 26, and she can pass for it, so she gets a job, and like it's just about her, like, she finds like this younger guy, meets him, and like it's just it's good. It's cute. It has Hilary Duff in it, and she's like one of the main characters, and she's fantastic.
I'm going to have to give that a go.
Yeah, it's cute. It's like 6 seasons, and they're all on Hulu.
Awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, that's my dicking off.
That's that on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to share for now. We'll catch y'all on Wednesday with another recap.
Yeah.
I think we're starting Unsolved Mysteries this week? Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you're right. Yes, you're right.
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when is this episode going up?
Yeah. Unsolved Mysteries.
I was doing mental math there.
We're not good at that.
No, I'm not good at that, though.
I was with a friend a couple weeks ago, and I was making pancakes, and I was making half of the recipe, and it called for 2/3 cup of water, and so out loud, I'm like, what's half of 2/3? And then it obviously comes to me after I think about it for a second. I was like, oh, it's 1/3. And they were like, oh, wow. Wow, Jessica. It just takes me a minute, okay?
It's okay. I'll give you a pass this time.
Thank you.
Just this time.
Okay.
Next time you can fuck right off.
Okay. Hey, I'm okay with that. All right.
Excellent. So we'll catch you guys Wednesday, and make sure you check out the what was I gonna say? Wow. Yeah, our Instagram show notes for all of the links and things that you want.
Yeah, our show notes, not Instagram, because we're pausing on Instagram for a minute because we are planning on moving some things around, and we quite haven't figured out how we're doing it yet. So
stand by.
Yes.
Yeah, and make sure you check out our other shows. Oh, yeah.
Check out YouTube. I forgot to mention that at the top of this episode. We're recording these now in hopes to get them on YouTube. So
you can see if we're there.
Hopefully, because we have to figure out some editing things. But, ideally, these episodes will also be on YouTube. So you can watch us and listen if you want, because some people are into that.
Yeah.
And, who doesn't want to look at our beautiful faces? I put makeup on it for this. Got my ring light on.
We got pretty for you guys. We were literally texting each other before this, talking about how we are, having to, actually, get ready for these now. Because normally we look like toes.
Ultimate toes. I don't even have my eyebrows on when we record this half the time.
Right. I usually just, wear whatever pajamas I was wearing.
Right.
Or, whatever things with a stretch waistband.
I've changed out of my pajamas I've been wearing for 2 days this morning. It was really great. I sent a picture of Jaymie because I need a hair washing day, and so I had to marinate my hair in dry shampoo so it looked semi-presentable. And when I mean marinate, I mean I put a shit ton on top of my head and let it marinate in there before I rubbed it in.
Actually, really tip. Do you want a pro tip?
Yeah.
So you dry shampoo the night before.
I do too. I do that.
Oh. Okay, well then I guess I'll go fuck myself then.
Yeah, go fuck right off. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Anyways, we're done. Thanks, guys.
We're done.
Okay, bye.
Good day.